Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for coming to our closing session. We will try to go through it as quickly as we can, but after that, we promise you a reception, so please join us. First of all, before we start the official ceremony, I would like to call on the stage the members of the executive committee of the current IUG, the outgoing one. So let me start by Catherine Whaler, our vice president. Alik Ismail Zadeh, our secretary general. Axel Hansen, our treasurer. and Bureau members Pierre Hubert, and Chris Rizos. Our Executive Secretary, Franz Kuklitz, and our immediate past President, Harsh Gupta. Then I will call upon the presidents of the associations that are here, Harald Su of IAG, Edward Petrovsky of IUGG, John Turner, IAMAS, Denise Smythe-Wright, IAPSO, and Thornley, IASPE. And the Secretaries General of the Association, Herman Dreves of IAG, Miora Mandea of IUGG, Christoph Kudenet, IAHS, Teruyuki Nakajima, IAMAS, Stefania Sparnokia, IAPSO, Johannes Weicher, IASPE, and Roberto Sulpicio, IAFSE. Okay, so thank you all very much. If we can have the music down, thank you. I would like to invite our Secretary General first. To give us the remembrance of the colleagues that passed away during the quadrennium. Alec, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Michael. Dear guests, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, during the last 4 years, we must unfortunately lost our colleagues, friends, those who contributed significantly to the development of IUGG. I would like to invite you to raise in remembrance of these people and invite you for 1 minute silence. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And don't sit down. Now I'd like to invite Alec again to give us the report of the Secretary General.
Thank you very much, Michael. Well, I have to report at the closing ceremony about the achievements of achievements which actually this wonderful event. delivered, and also the deliveries of the IUGG Council. First of all, I would like to remind you that according to the IUGG status of 5, General Assembly consisted of 3 major parts. First part, it is an opening scientific assembly where the people around, scientists around the world who attended this meeting and participated, contributed to the progress of science, and exchanged the ideas and presented their results, recent results. Another part of this General Assembly was a meeting of duly accredited delegates of member countries and guests invited in accordance with the bylaw. This particular meeting is called the Council meeting, where the delegates of national members meet and discuss the future of the Union. And finally, business meetings of the Union and its association. I already showed you there is so bright and so deep and wide is the Union, and about 100 units. And many of them met here in Melbourne, have their business meetings, taught and discussed the future development for the next quadrennial, and it was a big success actually. And that's how IUGG actually operates, constructs the plans for the 4 years, and try to implement what they planned for the next quadrennial. Well, now about the summary of the decision of the Council at the 27th General Assembly. As our President mentioned at the opening ceremony, our Council actually is standing Council and can take a decision during 4 years. However, the major decisions are taken at the General Assembly. First, all matters of membership have been ratified, meaning that several members become, several countries become members of IUGG, and these were ratified, and also the Council transferred the North Macedonia to the associate membership. Another important decision taken by the Council was the following. Just to look to this map, it is a map of the membership of the Union. And you would see that the light green or yellow areas are most of the covered by countries which are belong to the least developed countries. And they, unfortunately, because of the situation, economical and financial situation, cannot afford to pay a high fee to become high dues to become the member of IUGG. That's why Council considered the proposal from the Executive Committee IUGG, and the decision was the following: that least developed countries, as defined by the United Nations, can become IUGG regular members in Category 1, paying annual contribution at the level of 25% of the Category 1 membership dues. That's, I think, it's really very excellent, I would tell, decision of the Council. And please, all you who are here, distribute this information among your colleagues in the least developed countries and invite them to apply for IUGG membership. Another decisions are listed here, and they will be discussed in more detail. This is just a summary. The new IUGG and association officers have been elected. Official IUGG liaisons to various intergovernmental and international scientific bodies have been appointed. The budget for 2020-2023 has been approved. Berlin, Germany, had been selected as a venue for the 28th General Assembly of IUGG in 2023, and 3 IUGG resolutions have been passed. First, it is an election. Bureau 2019-2023, President Catherine Valley, Vice President Chris Ritsos, Secretary General Alexander Rudloff, Treasurer Niels Andersen. I would like to invite you to applaud to the new members who are elected. Congratulations to you. First Bureau officers. Next, it is the members of the Bureau, members at large, Stephen McNutt, Eduard Petrovsky, Yuan Xia, as well as Finance Committee members, Joseph Adam, Priscilla Crew, and Corina Rizos. Congratulations, our colleagues. You are actually in the fault. Well, now about this decision of the council. Here you see, if you see, yeah, probably it's visible, the partner organization to which IUGG normally nominate their liaison. Liaison are those persons who actively participate in the major events of the organization, which CM mentioned, and promote activity of the union within these bodies. Here will be, I listed those who are appointed to the committees. I just would like to tell the names of committees. Committee on Data and for Science and Technology. This is all committees of International Science Council. Committee on Space Research, COSPAR. Science Committee on Antarctic Research, SCAR. Science Committee on Oceanic Research, SCORE, Scientific Committee on Solar Terrestrial Physics, COSTEP, and World Data System. Now I will show you representative to the UN organizations. It's the UNESCO section on Earth Science and Geohazard Risk Reduction. It's the new position was specifically made because there is the last several years we developed very strong relationship with these units of the UNESCO, and particularly these units organized our centennial in UNESCO. Then UNESCO Hydrological Program, International Hydrological Program, UNESCO Intergovernmental Oceanographic Program, World Meteorological Organization. Also, we established a new position of liaison for the United Nations Committee of Experts on Global Geospatial Information Management, UNGGIM. Then next, it's International Civil Aviation Organization. Again, new position, which is established for the liaison to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. World Climate Research Program, Consultative Committee for Time and Frequency, Pan-American Institute for Geography and History, and finally, the Group on Earth Observations. That is the all liaisons listed in the central column. They are nominated by our associations or IUGG Bureau. Now, resolutions, they will be presented to you. Here is just a summary. We are, the Council, based on the proposal of the Resolution Committee, adopted the 3 resolutions, reducing the carbon footprints by the research community, the International Terrestrial Reference Frame, and resolution of thanks. Finally, 28th IUGG General Assembly will be held in Berlin, Germany, in July 2023. Finally, I would like to tell first, before even thanking, that this event was special for IUGG because we celebrated 100 years of our union, 100 years of wonderful work of many great scientists, and their contribution to IUGG is just written by the really gold letters in the history. Well, that is the first event. Another very important event which occurred within the last 100 years, that first female scientist was elected president of IUGG. Catherine, thank you very much for standing for this. I would like to thank the local organizing committee, the scientific program committee, and professional conference organizers for the wonderful event which we had here in Montreal during our assembly. I would like to thank definitely the Bureau, the 3 presidents with whom I work within the 12 last years. It is Tom Beer, Harsh Gupta, Michael Sideris, and also Bureau, and particularly 2 members of Bureau. It's Axel Hansen, with whom I work all 12 years, and 4 years with Katie, and all other members of Bureau. Then definitely I work a lot with Association Secretaries General. It was a pleasure. Sometimes it was a little fighting, but we are friends forever. That's a really fantastic people work. Finance Committee and the Council of the Union, that really greatly contributed to the union and the activity of the union in all spheres. I thank also the German Research Foundation, Science Foundation, German Research Center for Geosciences, GFZ Potsdam, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology for providing financial support to the IUGG Secretariat for the duration of 12 years. It is a really great support to the union, because the union operates with a really very small budget. And definitely thanks to you, it was 12 years of pleasure. Oh, sorry. Some water. Okay, come. It was a. Oh yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure to work with all you. 12 years, it's a very big period of time, and really it's my almost fifth of my life. And it was a great pleasure, truly great pleasure, to meet so wonderful people who really wanted to contribute to prosperity of the union. And I really wish this union to be more prosperous, more wonderful, and I will do everything depending on me to really promote this union. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alec. I'd like to call upon our treasurer now, Axel Hansen, to give his report.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. I'm going to give a brief introduction or description of the budget as approved. As Alex said, we have a new budget for the coming 4 years, 2020 to 2023. But I will only do it in summary. I think you will not hear all the numbers, so I will do it simple. First, some general comments. The activities of IUGD are based on payments coming from the member countries. That's the basic driver of the union financially, but there are also other incomes, directly or indirectly contribution. Right now, IUGD has 72 members, 58 are paying members, 14 are in category A. Those 58 countries pay around $500,000 in dues. So that's the basic income of the union for 1 year. The budget of IUGD is in US dollars. Our basic currency is US dollar, but I can tell you that it's not a constant value. It is changing a lot compared to other currencies. So in my time as treasurer, it has been from a low of about 4 to 5 Danish kroner crowns to more than 13. So it's a very variable currency we are operating with. And then, as it was said yesterday, we got a new budget approved by the council. So some numbers. On the 1st of January next year, 2020, the estimated balance, the incoming balance will be $662,000. In the next coming 4 years, we expect a little more than $2.2 million as dues paid by the member countries. So in total, we have at our disposal almost 3 million, but we are not going to spend all of it. We have planned expenditures for 2.3 million, leaving an outgoing balance in 2023, almost 600, but here 573. That was the main numbers from the budget. A little more about the expenditures. Half the income from countries goes directly to the associations. We have several grant programs. We have smaller one for meetings here. It is estimated to 5,000 over 4 years. We have allocated every time there is a General Assembly of the order 100,000. Then we have a line called Science and Education Activities. That amount has been increased this time from about 200 up to almost 300,000. And there we also have a grant program. And then we have what is called here union activities, meaning all our commissions and the ILP program. The total over 4 years is 156,000. Then we paid dues to the new structure, the new ISC, International Science Council. We estimate a little more than 30,000 per year. And finally, 25% goes to what is here called administration. Most of that is traveling for the Bureau. So that was, in summary, the budget. And then I have just a personal comment. That was my 5th budget I have got approved, and it is also the last one. So I will take the opportunity to thank the whole IUGG community for having this possibility of serving as treasurer. It has been 20 fantastic years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Axel. Also, thank you for not letting our economy crash for 20 years. Now, let me invite to the stage our immediate past president, Harsh Gupta, to present the 3 resolutions. Harsh.
Well, a very good evening to all of you. And the resolution committee worked hard, and all the resolutions which came to us in time were vetted by the resolution committee and then presented to the Executive Council of IUGG. And they made some changes, some modifications, and then they were presented to the IUGG Council. And what I'm presenting you are the resolutions which are approved by the IUGG Council. The first resolution is about the reducing the carbon footprint by the research community. And the language is a typical language which is written for the resolutions. So I'll read it for you. Considering the clearly established impact of human activity on climate change and biosphere degradation, acknowledging the irreversible consequences of continuing the current trajectory of greenhouse emission for the ecosystem of the planet and human society, noting that the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change in the recent special report on the impact of global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius demonstrated the dramatic difference between the consequence of warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius and 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level, and showed that limiting the warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius could be obtained only by strongly reducing the carbon dioxide emission before 2030, urges IUGG and affiliated scientific associations to take carbon footprint criteria into account when choosing the venue of future meetings, and the participant of the 27th IUGG General Assembly, research institutions and individual researchers to contribute to an unprecedented effort to evaluate and reduce greenhouse gas emission impact on the environment. Resolves, the research community, which is well aware of the origin and impact of climate change, should exhibit an exemplary attitude by modifying its professional practices in order to rapidly reduce the carbon footprint. The second resolution is on the International Terrestrial Reference Frame, ITRF. The International Union of Geodesy and Geophysics, considering the significant efforts of the International Association of Geodesy in developing and maintaining fundamental geodetic products, in particular the International Terrestrial Reference Frame for scientific and societal benefits, and the importance of interoperability of various geospatial datasets and georeferring applications, acknowledging the adoption of IUGG Resolution 2 in Perugia 2007 of International Terrestrial Reference System as a preferred geocentric terrestrial reference system for scientific and technical applications, noting that the ITRF is the numerical realization of ITRS developed, maintained, and made available to users by International Earth Rotation and Reference System Services and IIG Service, and that the ITRF is widely used as a standard in various georeferring applications, resolves to recommend to the user community that ITRF be the standard terrestrial reference frame for positioning, satellite navigation, and earth science applications, as well as for the definition and alignment of national and regional reference frames. The third resolution is the resolution of thanks. The International Union of Geodesy and Geophysics resolves to record gratefully its appreciation for the organization, arrangement, and hospitality at the 27th General Assembly. On behalf of all participants, the Council expresses its warm thanks to the local organizing committee, the Scientific Programming Committee, the Canadian Geophysical Union, the Canadian Meteorological and Oceanographic Society, and all others for making the 27th General Assembly a success in the beautiful city of Montreal. These are the three resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hars. Before we move to the second portion of tonight's event, we'll have a short break with nice jazz music, and therefore I would like to invite the guests at the front to sit down in the front row maybe, so we can all enjoy together some nice music. Okay, it is my pleasure now to move to the maybe most pleasurable part of the ceremony where we award the new fellowships. And Kathy and Franz are here to help me. Kathy, please.
Thank you. These are the awards for conferred fellows who've served the union greatly over their time. So this is IUGG Fellowship is conferred on members of the IUGG Executive Committee, Finance Committee, and Association Secretaries General upon retirement from their office. So we have a list here, and I haven't got my glasses on, so I might struggle a little bit to read them all out. I'll do my best here. The ones with the asterisks against them are the ones who are not present. The ones without will come up on the stage and receive from the president. So the first is Nasser Abu Assur from Egypt. Oh, right, yes. And just so as you'll see there, Nasser has been a key member of our finance committee. Not present is Isabel Ansonge. The next, though, is Tom Beer, IUGG past president. And next is Raymond Cass, IABC past president. Next, two people who can't be here, Athena Castolis and Donald Dingwell, but next to come up on the stage and receive his award is Herman Driz. Again, not present, Charles Fiers, but with us here today, Domenica Giardini. And next on the list is our immediate past president, Harsh Gupta. Not here, Sultan, he's here now, but coming next is Pierre Hubert. You need to wait, Axel. We'll call you at the end. Don't read the ones out there, they're not here. Okay. So I'm going to continue just reading the people who are present, and then maybe we'll put the full list back up at the end. Next is Jan Krinsky. Thornley. Juan Marti. Teruyuki Nakajima. David Rhodes. Kenji Sataki. Denise Smith-Wright. John Turner. Hans Volkert. So you left and left. Right, so we, as you've already understood, have two retiring members of Bureau who've just done tremendous work over the past 32 years combined service. So I'm going to hand over to the President, who's just going to say a few words at the mic before we go to a special presentation.
It's my pleasure to say a few words for Alec. I have worked with him for many, many years. And as you know, he has worked even before me with the previous presidents for 12 years already. And if I can summarize Alec, I would say he's really the heart and soul of the union. And as you may probably have noticed, he is also an open encyclopedia. He remembers the history of the union better than anybody else, and he even remembers all the places and people that we have met, which I could not possibly do. So, Alec, it is my great pleasure to really thank you on behalf of the union for your contributions and your long stay with us, but also wish you all the best because, as you may know, Alec is the secretary of the International Science Council now. But I have a suspicion this will not be the last that will be seen of Alec. Okay, thank you.
So before you sit down, Alec, we have a special gift for you. So it's my great pleasure on behalf of all of us to hand this to you.
Thank you very much.
Don't sit down yet either. So I'd also like to invite Hans Volkert to join us on the platform. Here, well, on the microphone.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very brief interlude. May I ask who of you was in Perugia 12 years ago? Oh yes, a few, just like me and Alec. And suddenly we are sitting together in this little courtyard in the warm summer July thing and found out that we got elected. I as the Secretary General of IAMAS, but he for IUGG. Anyway, so I think coming from the southern part of Germany, a wild federal state called Bavaria, who sometimes thinks that they are very special and they are old and they have archives and stuff like that. So I think what I would like to present Alec with is a seal of gratitude. And as you have invented a gold medal for IUGG with others, I think we have a golden bulla of the Emperor Ludwig IV, the Bavarian, nearly 700 years old. And everybody can buy it. It's a replica, it's wax with gilded sort of thing. And here is the one side. It's an aerial view of Rome. Well, you could say perhaps if you're sitting in Perugia in the mountains, have very good binoculars. You could see the Colosseum and the river Tevere running through Rome. This is the reverse side. There's some Latin transcription. I think this Alec probably knows Latin very well. He can do that a little homework for himself. On the other side, front side, well, this is the emperor, but perhaps it's also a depiction of Alec, sitting on the throne with a scepter and an orb, and there are two lions. Are there two presidents? Are there people of the secretariat? Things like that. Anyway, a very, very good mood. And I think on behalf of IAMAS and with fond memories from Perugia through all the other things, Montreal, we have been 10 years ago at MOCA, to Montreal again. From, as we were joking, Comrade Hans Volkert, you know, we are not Genossen, as they say, comrade, but Kamerad is a good friend in German word. And with that, so now where is the box? I would very like to present you with that.
Thank you very much.
It's sort of
Thank you.
very economic.
Thank you
But
very much.
I hope
Thank
you
you very
enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
And the special thing is there's a little thread at the back you can hang it on your wall in your office and look at it and think of Yamas.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Just a few words. It's I really deeply touched. Thank you very much. It is incredible, really. It's, thank you, deeply thanks to all IUGG, to IAMAS, to other associations. It was a time of wonderful, as I mentioned, wonderful time of my life. And I would never forget this. And, well, why forget? It's actually, I will continue. But just thank you very much. It was a pleasure. When I was a little boy, it's, you know, there's friends and so on ask, well, when you would like to be, whom you would like to be. And I always thought I would like to be a king. And they said, why king? You know, because I will have a lot of money and I will split this money among all people. I would like that everybody to be happy. Today I became king. I got a wonderful medal. Thank you very much. Now it's turn to split it to everybody because it's, I would not be working so wonderful for this year. Sorry, not wonderful way. It's for wonderful union if I would not see that so many people contributing. I just started and continued to contributing a little, but worked. Thank you very much. Thank you for everything.
So the other person who's actually served in the Bureau capacity for even longer is Axel Hansen. So we now invite him to come to the stage for a special presentation.
So with Axel, we were not able to prepare a fellowship certificate for him because, as you know, he was candidate for Secretary General. But, well, unfortunately, he didn't get it, but that gave us the opportunity to give him a certificate of appreciation because Axel has been with the union even longer than Alec. He has been, as you heard, treasurer for 20 whole years. Okay, and he has kept our finances in order. So because of that, and because for those that know Axel, he's a very, very nice person, we thought that we give him also an extra gift of appreciation today. It's a nice painting from a Canadian painter for his home. So we also gave him a knife. Hopefully he can open it so he can show it to all of us. So let's see.
Like Christmas.
Okay, now you have to show it to everybody.
I will just say, as I said in my speech, thank you to everybody. And then just a question, who paid for this?
The bill is in the mail. Okay, well, thank you very much, Franz and Kathy. I check the program here to make sure, but I think I have to invite myself. This is my final remarks as president. And if we can get the presentation on the screens. Maybe I can. Okay. All right. So I will not take much of your time. I won't have a speech, I promise. The only thing I want to do is give thank you to a few people. I think we have all had an excellent General Assembly here, both scientifically speaking, but also socially. And for that, we need, of course, to help the local organizing committee, but as well the association secretary generals that helped in the program setup. So I would like to go one by one because I'm getting old and I'm sure I would forget some names. So that's why I have this little PowerPoint to be able to thank all the people that I should give my thanks to. First of all, related to the assembly, I would like to thank all the members of the science program and the chair of the science program committee, Spiros Pagiatakis. I'm not sure if Spiros is here. He's somewhere in the audience back there. So thank you very much, Spiros. The members of the local organizing committee, as well as the chair, Fiona Derbyshire. Fiona, if you can come up to the stage, I believe we may have something for you as well. Do we have it here? Franz has it, okay. All right, just a small token of appreciation, a few flowers for all your sleepless nights. But I think they paid off. The assembly ran very, very smoothly, and we're extremely happy with the organization in the end. Thank you very much. Okay. So let me continue. Our professional organizers, CIN and JPDL here, in particular, I have to mention two names, Adriana and Laura. I hope Adriana, I don't think she's here. She left for a family business. Laura was around, but is she here in the room? She's in the back. She doesn't want to appear. Anyway, thank you very much. I think we'll have to give them a round of appreciation. Oh, there she is. Say hello. And I should not forget the volunteers, because as you may have seen them out in their green shirts, I believe there were about 150 students or so, if I remember correctly. So again, a round of appreciation for them. They help us tremendously. Then, of course, all of the sponsors of the Assembly, I would like to acknowledge, and in particular the financial support that we got from the Government of Canada through the Department of Environment and Climate Change Canada. The Canadian Geophysical Union and the Canadian Meteorological and Oceanographic Society, as I mentioned in the opening, basically sacrificed their individual meetings this year to come and join us in this bigger assembly, so I want to thank them very much, as well as for the help they provided to the local organizing committee. All the speakers and contributors and participants, and something happened here. The whole thing has changed format. I don't know if this is mine or not. It is mine, good. At least everything is there. Now, individual names of the IUGG's bureaus, executive secretary and secretariat, because I need to acknowledge them already. Alec did already, but I feel that I'm obliged to do it myself. So first of all, Vice President Catherine Whaler. Where did she go? There she is. Secretary General, Alec. Thank you again. You cannot complain, okay? Stay. All right, Executive Secretary and Assistant Secretary General Franz Kuglitz. Franz, thank you very much. Franz, together with his assistant, Katrin Gudrum, who is sitting somewhere at the front. Thank you, Katrin. Help us a lot, not only during the assembly, but before in the organization, but as well as in the main office of the IUGG, which is in Potsdam. Alec already mentioned GFZ, DFG, and KIT because they provided support for our secretariat, and I would like also to gratefully acknowledge them. Axel, I won't repeat what I said, but I need to show the name one more time. Finally, I would like to acknowledge the last three presidents of the union, Harsh Gupta and Tom Beer, who are sitting up here, and Yuri Samir, who is not with us today, but I think they were sort of mentors to me. I think I learned a lot from their wisdom and their experience, and they helped me go through this quadrennium rather painlessly, I would say. So thank you very much. And finally, congratulations and best wishes to all the elected officers of the union and the associations. We have seen their names already. I believe this is the end of my very short speech. Next, I would like to introduce to you the new leadership of IUGG. And you can see their names there. I will read them. I will ask them to stand up if they are in the room, and then we reserve the applause until the end, and we'll acknowledge them all together. So Catherine Whaler will be the new president of IUGG. Chris Rizos is the IUGG president-elect. Alexander Rudloff, the new secretary general. Okay, nobody's listening to me. I told you to hold your applause, but keep doing it. It's okay, I like it. Neil Sanderson, the new treasurer. Stephen McNutt. Edward Petrovsky. And June Sia. They are the new members of the Bureau. And the new association presidents, Regine Hock of IUGG, I believe she's not here today. Zuhir Al-Tamimi, the new IAG president. Over there. Miawara Mandea, the new IAGA president. Gunder Blausel, I don't think he's here either, the new president of International Association for Hydrological Sciences. Joyce Penner, the new IAMAS president. Is Joyce here? She left, okay. Trevor McDougall, the new IAPSO president. Kenji Satake, the new IASPE president. And Patrick Allard, the new IAVSE president. So now I would like to invite Fiona, the chair of the local organizing committee, to give us the report for this General Assembly. Oh, sorry, I forgot the Finance Committee new members. Joseph Adam from Hungary, I think he was here. He's gone. All right, Priscilla Grew from the United States is here. And Corina Riso next to her. Okay, welcome to all of you. I wish you a lot of strength, and we're looking forward to greater things coming out of this new quadrennium for the International Union. So, Fiona, please come and tell us how the General Assembly statistics are. We'd like to see some of the numbers, but also your more general comments about the General Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. I now understand what I learned in 2017 when I started taking on this role as LOC chair. I spoke to people who had organized meetings in the past, and they said to me, at the end of the meeting, you'll say, this was an amazing experience. I never want to do it again. but it has been an amazing experience, and I'm very glad that so many people were able to come to the meeting. I will give you a little bit of statistics at the end. So as Michael mentioned, this time the IUGG 2019 General Assembly was a partnership. It was co-hosted by the Canadian Geophysical Union, of whom Rich Petroni, the now past president, took an active part, as did the past executive director, Gordon Young, the Canadian Meteorological and Oceanographic Society, past president Paul Kushner, and executive director Gordon Griffiths, and our professional conference organizer, who also played a strong partnership role. I'd like to acknowledge President Jean-Paul de Lavisson and all of his team. So there's been a lot of thanks given. I would like to add my personal thanks to everybody who contributed to this meeting. Obviously the IUGG and all the associations, the CGU and CMOS Canadian hosts, all of the team for the local organizing committee and the scientific program committee, our dedicated team of student and postdoc volunteers who are always on hand to answer questions and deal with any crises that erupted during the course of the conference. A huge thanks to JPDL, our local professional conference organizer, for being always there when we needed them, for organizing everything so beautifully, and also to CIN, who handled all the aspects of the scientific program. I'd like to thank the Palais des Congrès, of course, our audiovisual team from Freeman, and Capital Traiteur, who gave us all of our meals and interesting snacks at the poster receptions. The session conveners and session chairs and workshop organizers who worked so hard to put the scientific side of the program together, and of course all of you, the IUGG 2019 attendees. Just a little bit of recent history. We spent quite a bit of time in the last 18 months or so trying to publicize the meeting, and it's obviously paid off because we've had some very good attendance. So this is just a couple of pictures of the IUGG booths at the AOGS and AGU conferences last year in Hawaii and Washington, respectively. A little bit of general information. So, of course, we had a large range of scientific symposia, the union, joint, and association symposia, all of which were tremendously successful. In addition to that, we had all of the business meetings for the IUGG, the associations, CGU, and CMOS. As we are here now, we have ceremonies and receptions. The associations generally had social events as well, including dinners out in the local restaurants of the Old Port. We had 21 workshops in total, workshops and town hall meetings that were open to all. And in addition, five AHS special workshops geared towards early career scientists. We had some excursions, both on the scientific side and for accompanying persons. We'd like also to acknowledge, gratefully, our 4 sponsors and 2 additional groups who gave us grants. We also had 33 exhibitors' booths and network lounges in the end, and you saw them all nicely centrally placed in the poster and coffee room, and I saw a lot of good interactions and traffic around those booths. Finally, some statistics for you. These are correct as of July 16th. They're probably going to change by 1 or 2. So in the end, we were just shy of 4,000 attendees, of whom I'm happy to report we had over 800 students. Most of those people were able to come to the meeting. We did unfortunately have some registrants who, for various different reasons, couldn't make it, but I'm glad to say that the vast majority could. And the other statistic that's very important to see here is the number of countries of origin for the registrants. We had over 100 countries participating. By association, we have the various statistics. So each association was well represented. IAMAS deserves the prize for the largest proportion with 21% of attendees. And you can see the 8 different associations plus a number of registrants who identified as interdisciplinary. So finally, I'd like to thank you all for attending the 27th IUGG General Assembly, and I wish you all a safe journey home. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona. So please stay, because we need now to hand the IUGG flag to the representatives from Germany. And then after that, I will ask them to give us their presentation about the IUGG 2023. I think Fiona will do the handing of the flag to Germany.
We invite you to Berlin, the Science City, to hold the General Assembly of the IUGG in 2023. Come and meet your colleagues of the GeoX platform, one of the world's largest geoscientific clusters, combining both extra-university research organizations and universities. The City Cube will be the perfect place to meet all expectations of the General Assembly. It meets highest standards of modern Congress organization. Come and enjoy the hospitality of Berlin, Berlin being one of the greenest and safest cities around the globe. Welcome to Berlin.
Yeah, thank you very much, and let me first thank the IUGG Council for giving us the opportunity to host the next General Assembly in 2023 in Berlin. Let me first give you a short comment concerning the first song that was played. It is a very typical and famous song in Berlin called Berlin Air, Berliner Luft, and it was written, composed in 1919, like IUGG. And what you saw was played in an open-air concert in Berlin by the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. And then you saw the short film introducing our bid for the next General Assembly, which will be held in July 2023. In fact, we have blocked so far a time period of 3 weeks in July, and very soon we will decide about the final time period of 8 or 9 days together with the IUGG Bureau. And on the screen here, on the slide, you see the Brandenburg Gate, which is a famous landmark and historical monument close to the convention center, just a few kilometers away. And the convention will take place in the City Cube Berlin, which is a very modern convention center. It offers more than 30 rooms for parallel sessions, plus additional rooms for splinter meetings, the association offices. And so I think it will be a very good location for the next convention. And just 2 or 3 more sentences about Berlin. It can be easily reached by train from every European country and also by plane. And we are very optimistic that the new international airport will be open by 2023. But nevertheless, we also have 2 cozy small airports in Berlin we already have. Yeah, so this will be the next venue, and looking forward to meeting all of you there. I also like to thank my colleagues from the bidding committee and the core team of the local organizing committee. And welcome to Berlin in 4 years from now. Hope to see all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Harold. Let's see. All right, well, there was another slide here, but I think it's missing. Anyway, the slide was that I am now closing the 27th General Assembly of the IUGG, and this is also my end as president. So I'm closing many years in the executive, maybe 12 already, and I have another 4 as past president. So you're not getting rid of me yet. I will still work for IUGG, would be my pleasure as always, to work behind the scenes as much as I can. So I'd like to thank you all again for coming to this General Assembly, making it a success, and now invite our new president, Kathy Whaler, to give her inaugural address. Kathy, please.
So let's see if my slides are there. Aha. The header's gone a bit awry because it was the old centennial header, so I hope they won't be overwritten too much. So you'll have seen a lot of me and you'll have heard a bit from me, but maybe you don't know very much about me. So I thought I'd start with a bit about my association with the union. So my home association is IAGA, and I also have strong research links with the Union Commission Studies of the Earth's Deep Interior. My one-liner at cocktail parties when people ask me what I do is I say I research on why your magnetic compass needle points north. So that's basically what I do. So I've actually been participating in IUG-associated meetings since 1981, which was the year I got my PhD, which sort of dates me a little bit, so you can work out how old I am. But along the way, as well as participating in the meetings, I was Scientific Programme Chair for the 1999 General Assembly. I was on the Resolutions Committee for the 2003 General Assembly. I was on the IAGA Executive Committee, first as a member, then as Vice President, and then as President. And for the past 4 years, I've been Vice President of the Union. So, what I want to say, IUGG into its 2nd century. Of course, fundamental science will continue to underpin everything we do, and we must ceaselessly make the case for the importance and the relevance of fundamental science. Our associations and commissions are our bedrock. They ensure the health of the disciplines, and under the IUGG umbrella, we can take advantage of the synergies between them. We should keep our structures and organisation nimble to be responsive to new opportunities and challenges. So that's how I see the union sort of working over the next 4 years and hopefully beyond that. But I think it's fair to say that the public is entitled to expect us to tackle societal problems with this fundamental underpinning science knowledge. This requires new ways of collaborating. We've got to work integratively, multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and for us to be able to communicate with non-scientists and work with decision makers. And a lot of us are starting to understand the theory of change and how we convey our messages and how we can interact in a proper dialogue fashion with the people whom we're trying to assist with these societal problems. I think IUG should continue to play a unique role through its ability to connect to governments, policymakers, other international and global bodies. And you've already seen our list of liaisons and how we interact very actively with these organisations. This is not just lip service, this is really being involved. And I genuinely hope that we can continue to play our role in that fashion. Now, I think big data, data standards and curation of data, database services and products are going to be increasingly important in our technology-dependent society. And we all know the wealth of data that we're now getting from satellite and remote imaging and so on and so forth, which contributes to that. We've got a fundamental role in being the recognised body for defining, producing, validating and endorsing all these data and the products and services that come from them. And I really applaud the dedication of many IUGG scientists who spend significant amounts of time to ensure the best possible outcomes in these endeavours. These are people who work with the data back at home, and then they come to these meetings, discuss with others what should be done, what shouldn't be done, how best to present, argue, as we've already heard a little bit about in workshops, produce these, endorse the products, and make sure then that they're fit for purpose, review them, update them as needed. We've heard of the second resolution this afternoon, and this is really a key aspect of the union. It's something that no other entity can really deal with in the remit that's covered by IUGG. Now, I get increasingly worried about the inequity between the global north and the global south, and this continues, I think, to be a challenge for the union. We've already heard that fewer and fewer lower-income countries are IUG members, and fewer scientists from them seem to be able to participate in our assemblies and commission conferences. We've heard a little bit here about problem with visas to attend meetings, for collaborative research visits, and even for people from one country who want to move to another to take up a research or teaching position. The visas are becoming more expensive and seem to be refused more often. And we must work with ISC to highlight and address this issue. We're tending towards a situation where free movement of scientists is basically lip service, and the practice and practicalities are really very, very different. We extend our reach through workshops and capacity building activity, and this is a way we can get into countries that are not members or not able to participate quite so easily in union activities. And many scientists within the IUG community individually are involved in activities, for example, around the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, I think open data and publications and open source software can help with bridging this income and ability to participate gap, and IUGG can help promote them. And just finally on this section, our underlying values, I think we all agree, should continue to be integrity, ethics, dignity and respect for others. We must all be responsible scientists. The older generation, like me, can help early career scientists advance and become the leaders of the future. And I don't just mean leaders in the scientific community. I, for example, have had many students who've left academia, but they take leadership roles in policy, in government, in geological surveys, and so on and so forth. And these are really important roles that we should also be encouraging our early career colleagues to go into. I encourage early career scientists themselves to consider how they can contribute to furthering all aspects of the union and its associations, not just the science they cover. Right, a couple of other points that I wanted to just air here today. The duration of General Assemblies. They've gradually shortened over time, but can we, should we, do we want to go further or do them differently? For example, we could shorten them more, we could limit them to just union and joint association symposia, and not allow the associations to have their own things. Advantage of this is that it takes full advantage in our meetings of the presence of all associations. It reduces cost, it's administratively simpler. But the disadvantages are potentially that attendees won't come to a meeting where they don't see their strong involvement, and often that is very much in the discipline-based science of the associations. Often people need to be presenting to get funding to attend, and certainly they may not wish to attend if they're not actively participating in the science part of the programme, and that could mean a trend towards lots of posters. Now that might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. In any case, we want to be as inclusive as possible in our meetings. So one way to do that would be to involve more parallel sessions, and whereas on the last slide I said that was administratively simpler, this would make it administratively more complex. And the other thing is that there's a lot of business to be packed into a short time, and we don't want to silo it by scheduling outside the science part of the programme, thereby only involving a limited number of the attendees. So the debate on this is clearly going to continue, and I hope that we can have constructive dialogue amongst the executive over my term as president. And the other thing I thought was, can we celebrate more? Who knows, for example, and I'll tell you that I don't know the answer to these questions, how many days do our scientists spend delivering workshops, summer schools, other training events that we either run ourselves or sponsor, and the numbers of researchers that benefit from these activities? I'm sure if we counted up the person days, it would be a very large number. And I'm sure also if we counted up the researchers that benefit, that would also be a really large number. Which policymakers have been influenced by our publications and other activities? I don't know how many copies of our CUP books we've given out to relevant policymakers and the like, and whether they've actually had an influence. In fact, I don't know how many copies of our CUP books we've sold either. What amount of additional support do we leverage from the funds that we provide to meetings and workshops that we sponsor? Again, we know that this can be the seed corn for other people who are then able to raise funds, and this is a really significant part of what we do as well. And I think it would be good to try to collect those data. When have our resolutions made a difference? So a lot of this information is in the numerous reports that Council will have seen over the past few days, and we've seen in Bureau and Executive. But it's all a bit piecemeal. Maybe it could be collated and publicised, and thereby we'd be able to demonstrate the value added that being an international union conveys. Okay, just about on time for us to go upstairs to the receptions. I, of course, need to do some acknowledgements myself, and that's to all members of the IUGG Bureau, in particular my predecessor, Michael, as outgoing president, and Alec as the outgoing Secretary General. But also all other members of the Executive Committee with whom I've really enjoyed working over the past 4 years. And in fact, I was a member of the Executive for the 4 previous years as the IUGG president. And the General Assembly LOC, in particular, Fiona Derbyshire, who we've just heard from as the chair, and Spiros Pagiatakis, who's the Scientific Programme Committee chair. And I know what kind of a workload he's had as well, having done the job for the Birmingham General Assembly. And I'd also like to thank the IUG Council and all national delegates and all participants in what I hope we can all agree has been a highly successful General Assembly. Finally, please help maintain the health and success of IUGG in its second century by participating in its meetings, getting involved in its governance, outreach, education, and any other way you can and are willing to contribute. Join us for the next General Assembly in Berlin in 4 years' time, and have safe journeys home. Thank you very much, and we can adjourn upstairs for a reception.
Thank you very much, Kathy. I would like to thank you and extend my best wishes for success to both you and the leadership of IUGG and the associations. This concludes the formal part of our closing ceremony. Thank you again, and safe travels home. But before you leave, as Kathy said, you're all invited to our closing reception upstairs. So let's have a drink and some social time together until we meet again. Thank you.